Hi students, welcome to Botany online class. Today we are going to discuss the topic is hydrosil. So this is continuous chapters of ecosystem. So what is hydrosil? What are the kinds of hydrosil? What are the stages of hydrosil? Now we are discussing that. So first of all, so what is hydrosil? The hydrosil is nothing but the succession, the started regions in where water planety. That's why hydrosil, water planety. That's why hydrosil. The hydrosis, for example, this freshwater ecosystem, especially lotic and lentic. Already you learn about the previous classes what is meaning the lotic or what are the example of lotic and lantic. So now we have discussed the stages of hydrosil. So how many stages takes place this? So there are 7 stages takes place. They are phytoplankton stage. First stage is phytoplankton. Second stage is submerged. Plant stage. Third one is submerged free floating stage. Then fourth one is reed swap stage. Then fifth one is marshy swap, meadow stage. Marshy meadow stage. Sixth one is shrub stage. Then seventh one is forest stage. So there are the 7 stages that takes place. Phytoplankton stage, submerged plant stage, submerged free floating stage, reed swap stage, marshy meadow stage, shrub stage and forest stage. So in previous classes already we learned about phytoplankton stage, submerged plant stage, submerged floating plant stage. So now we are going to discuss about fourth stage. Fourth stage is reed swap stage. So this is the fourth stages of succession. These are also called amphibians. Amphibian stage. So what is mean the amphibian stage? In this these kinds of the plants, they are live both plant and they are live both land and water. That's why amphibians plants. So during this stage, rooted floating plants. Already we learn about the third stages are rooted floating plants like Nimbaya, Nilambo and Draba, that are example for rooted floating plants. Those plants are replaced or are replaced by the plants which can live successfully in the aquatic as well as aerial environment. For example, this typa. One example is typa Phragmitis sagittaria. Typa Phragmitis sagittaria and Scripus. So that are example for red spark plants. So these plants they are attained the maturity or they formed or they are completed the life cycle after reached to the that are the end stage. So at the end stages of this, the water level of the pond is more reduced or gradually decreases or very much reduced. So after those kinds of the plants, they form continuous growth in water region into the land, but these are unstable form. So these are rare swap stages. The fifth stage is marshy meadow place. Marshy meadow place. So these stages, the pond becomes shallow due to decreases in the water level. So these are the minimum levels, but these are day by day there are decreases in the water level. They are arising or being with the other kinds of the species like Cybraceae, Poaceae, and etc. For example, in Poaceae, Caryx. One example this Caryx juncus, Cyprus and Heliocaryx Cyprus. Heliocaryx. So that are example for marshy meadow or marshy vegetation plants. An example this Cybraceae, Poaceae, Caryx, Juncus, Cyprus and Heliocarcus. That are example for marshy meadow stages. So again, these plants are they are attained to maturity or complete in the life cycle. They form mat-like structure. Mat-like or mat-like vegetation. So what is meaning the mat-like? Mat means nothing but you see the lake or see the some dam that are the dry season. The outer surface you see the completely around with some kinds of the plants, especially amphibians of the some kinds of the plants that are completely eroded in the soil. Otherwise, you see the cricket pitch, eroded the areas completely. They are developed in the grass, same like the mat-like vegetation, because these kinds of the plants they are developed in well branched in the root, so that are leads to the absorption and loss of large quantity of waters. So at the end of these stages, the soil becomes the dry. Therefore, the marshy vegetation disappear gradually and leads to form next stages. The next stages is the shrub stages. So sixth one stages is shrub stage. So the shrub stages is again, in these stages it will be a gradually disappears of marshy vegetation continues because the soil become the dry. Therefore these kinds of the plant completely leads to the death. Hence, the other kinds of the plants, they are origins for these stages like shrub and trees. The other kinds of the plants, they are origins. One is shrubs, another one is trees. So shrub already understand. The shrub is the small like plants. The plant bodies are very sharp. There is no from the any secondary growth. These are they are attain the height for 1 or 2 feet. That's are trees. But these are the big bears. All kinds of the plant parts, especially stem, big kinds of the trunk. Many branches, each branches are raising many lateral branches and bears fruits, flowers and etc. They finally appear in the big size, that is the trees. So an example for the shrub is salix and corax. Salix and cornus. So that are example for shrubs. And trees are example, this trees in populus and ulnus. Populus plus and ulnus. So that are example for the trees. So these kinds of the plants, they are attained they are developed in the next stages are developed in the increases in the height. Because these kinds of the plants, I think these are developed in vascular tissues. These stages well developed in the vascular tissues because these are terrestrial plants. So these kinds of the plants are completely they are live in the land, especially terrestrial plants. Therefore, these kinds of the plants they are developed in the well developed in the vascular tissues. Thus, vascular tissues already we know that xylem and phloem. So both are the conductive tissues, water and food from the one place into the another places. So these plants are absorbed a large quantity of waters and make the habitat, the quality of water, and finally these are accumulated in the next generation. So the further the accumulations of humus which reach flora of microorganism. So what is meaning of flora? The flora nothing but plant. Faunans means nothing but the animals. These regions are well developed or rich in the flora of microorganisms and produced in the soil, and they are attained the maturity after these kinds of them leads to the type. So after their arrival, the new tree species in next these areas that are helpful the next areas. So the next we are going to discuss about forest stages. That is the 7th stages of forest stages or final stages or end stages of hydrosis. These are climax community. So the final stages of hydrosis is called a climate community. So in these stages they are arising from variety of the tree of area. They developed one of the diversity or one type of the diverse of vegetations. For example, this temperate mixed forest, then tropical rain forest, and next one is tropical deciduous forest, that is formed in the climate communities. For example, this temperate mixed forest, tropical rain forest, and tropical deciduous forest. For example, this temperate mixed forest, Ulmus, Acer and Quartus. Ulmus, Acer or chorus. That are example for temperate mixed forest. And next one is tropical rain forest. An example this Artocarpus cinnamomum. Artocarpus cinnamomum. That are example for tropical rainforest Artocarpus. Next one is tropical deciduous forest. For example, this bamboos and tectona. Bamboo and tectona. That are example for tropical deciduous forest. So, in the hydrosis having the 7 stages, among the first stages known as higher succession is occupied by pioneer community. See that? The first stages is pioneer community or pioneer species or primary succession. So what is the pioneer community or primary succession or pioneer species? So that are the first origins of plant in barren area, that's why pioneer community. Then the last stage is forest stage, that is a climax community. So end of climax community, there are origins from forest, different kinds of the forest. Already we know that temperate mixed forest, tropical rainforest, tropical deciduous forest and etc. Between this, there are the 5 stages: submerged plant stage, submerged free floating stage, reed swamp stage, marshy meadow stages at Cirral community. So that are stages of hydrosis. Next we are going to discuss about the significance of plant successing or importance of plant successing. There are the many importance that takes place. Some of the important discussed now. So the first one is the succession is a dynamic process. So already we know that dynamic process. So many ecologists can be assume and study the Cirral stages. The Cirral, already we know that Cirral stage. So what are the stages? Cirral stages. There are the 5 stages of Cirral stage. So what are the 5 stages? They are submerged plant stage, submerged free floating stage, reduced fast stage, marshy meadow stage and surface stage. That are the Cirral stages. That is the first thing. Second one is the knowledges of plant ecological succession that are helpful. The control of growth, 1 or more species of the forest. So the knowledges get from the plant ecology, so that are helpful for the control with 1 or more species of the forest. Then third one is the knowledges of this succession, even these are helpful for dam can be protected by preventing salitation. So already we know that around the areas are dam. During the rain season, the waters move from the one place into the another place. Not only move the waters and also mixed in the soil. The soils are storage. You see the The, the soils are storage in the bottom of the dam, so that are reduced in the storage of the water, so that are the preventing the knowledges, and it give the informations about the techniques that are used for the forest weather, they form reforestation and afforestations. Already we know that reforestation and afforestation, they cultivated new plants already replaced with the other plants for the forest, so they are used for plant ecologies. And next one is the plant succession, the helpful for maintaining maintaining the diversity of the species, diversity of the ecosystems, and also the helpful for the maintenance of patterns. Next one is the patterns of diversity during the succession destroyed of the resource availability by disturbance of various factors, like most of the factors is climatic factors, another one is edaphic factors, another one is etc. All the factors, they are affected in the plants that knowledge is get from the plant succession. And the primary succession is colonized habit on divide in the life cycle. For example, this primary like the phytoplankton stages, during the stages they are origins from the beginning, they are origins from the colonies like floating plants. And the secondary succession involved the re-establishments of the plant community, distributed area habits. Then finally the forest and vegetation that we come the place, one place into the other place, or overall all the world, the result in the plant succession. You see the one area to the other area, or one district into the other district, you go to the places. So both side of the road they are arising from the most of the forest and hill region etc. All are their origins from plant succession. So today class is over. Thank you.